live in interesting times. This week's stories. In New York, Aid to Humanity warms a Bronx community with free winter wear and school supplies. In Arizona, recipients of Aid to Humanity in Tucson say the event made such a difference. In Texas, San Antonio fans are thrilled about the city's new football team. Back in New York, the nation's best canines compete at the 143rd Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show. Plus, in California, world figure skaters share their insights into the sport at the ISU Four Continents Championship in Anaheim. Hello everyone, I am Lynn Pence, bringing you stories from around the globe, and this is Eagle News Washington, D.C. Weekend Edition. Warming hearts in a Bronx community to the Aid of Humanity reaches out with free winter wear and school supplies. Eagle News correspondent Des Anderson with the details.
We're in the Bronx River Community Centre, where hundreds of locals are coming together on this Martin Luther King Day of Service. The Iglesia Ni Cristo is holding an Aid to Humanity event to promote literacy and education by giving away free school supplies, books and winter wear.
Bronx River houses, there's close to 6,000 residents that live here. 65% Hispanic, and the rest, African American. So 100% people of color in this community, and we're talking about a community that has been deprived of resources from the day of birth. They're born in this community.
It could be in this community. It could be anywhere. Right now, the country's going in a really bad place. It's not too good it's not looking good for us.
And we're glad we got the community center here, try to help them with their kids and make everything better for them.
They're giving away backpacks, coats, especially in a day like today where it's 8 degrees. There's families that definitely need some coats. So it's definitely things that we need in our community.
This is a form of getting everybody together and coming to do something so positive for the community, for everybody.
Well, I've seen that they're giving out the toys, coats, and other goods for the kids for school. And that is beautiful. It is great to have churches, to have volunteers, and all around. Everybody should do that because that is great for everybody.
It's a good church. And I thank y'all very much for coming out and doing what y'all doing.
I believe a lot of people don't have access to churches, or churches don't really reach out to our community the way they should. And the outreach that this church in particular did over here was phenomenal.
To get the community to come and show love and to show all of us there's still hope. We still show the community it's hard, but we still have hope.
The temperature outside is in the single digits, but that still didn't stop the local families and kids and members of the INC from doing their part to help the community and fulfill a day of service. Reporting for EBC, Des Anderson in the Bronx, New York. I am one with 25.
Thanks, Des. Meanwhile, in Arizona, recipients of another Aid to Humanity event said the outreach effort there made such a difference. Eagle News correspondent Christopher King tells us why.
An Arizona community received so much needed relief during an Aid to Humanity event, which took place at the Iglesia Ni Cristo compound in Tucson, Arizona. The event brought smiles to various age groups of visitors that came as far from cities as 2 hours away.
Masaya naman po, nag-enjoy po ako sa presentation at nagustuhan ko rin po yung message kanina ng pastor sa Bible study at saka sa paligid dito ngayon, masaya po ang mga presentation ng mga bata at saka yung food po, masarap.
You know, when people reach out to others and try to satisfy their needs and engage with them in really positive things, it's an absolutely wonderful thing.
Along with chapel tours and the fun activities for the kids, the INC offer free dental supplies, free clothing, and gift bags with non-perishable items in them.
It's very great help for the community, especially those are less fortunate people here. They're getting medical assistance, also foods, free for everyone, and gifts. It's really very helpful.
So what you're doing is it's allowing the people to know that they're there and don't be embarrassed. There's no catch. It's just somebody that cares for you. And I hope that people take the opportunity to realize that.
There's so much discourse going on today in our community that maybe there needs to be many more events like this that attract other people. You know, they just need a safe place to go to and need a smile and maybe even a hug from time to time. And you know, that makes a difference.
According to the church officials, the Tucson A to Humanity was the very first of a series of 10 events that took place in the different areas of the district INC, Mountain States, which includes the states of Colorado, Utah, New Mexico, Nevada, and Arizona. During a time of national crisis, it's good to know that acts of kindness, compassion, love to their neighbors and fellow man still exist in the community.
From the Iglesias Crystal Chapel here in Tucson, Arizona, I'm Christopher King, 1 with 25.
Thanks, Christopher. When we come back, in Texas, San Antonio fans are thrilled about the city's new football team. And back in New York, the nation's best canines compete at the 143rd Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show. Eagle News, Washington, D.C. will return in a moment. Welcome back. You are watching Eagle News, Washington, D.C. Weekend Edition. Football fans in San Antonio, Texas are more than thrilled now that the city has its own professional team, the Commanders. Garrico Montefalcon speaks to some of them. Take a look.
San Antonio, Texas is a city that loves sports and is full of passionate football fans willing to share their love of the game. Yet for several years, the Alamo City lacked a professional football team of its own. Until now, that is. Starting February 2019, the Alliance of American Football, or AFF League, kicked off its opening game at the Alamo Dome, introducing the city to its latest professional team, the San Antonio Commanders. So we asked local residents what they thought about having a new professional football team.
Well, I was motivated to attend the Commanders game because I am a big football fan. And I am thrilled, just absolutely thrilled that they're here in San Antonio.
I think it's really good for the city to finally get a professional team here. I think it's a morale booster. It will definitely help getting young people involved and more into their community and with sports.
I think it's great. It'll bring the people of San Antonio together under one, team to root for. So I think it's very good for the community.
I think it will just give something for San Antonio to be proud of. Obviously I hope there's economical benefits to it and more money brought into the city. But I'm mostly excited to see another sport that San Antonio excels at and it's proud of.
When I watched the game last week, that was the first win of the team, so definitely the city seemed very excited about the team. We were able to hear the referees talk during the replays, so that was a nice little feature that they added. It's a way for us to kind of get some football while we wait for the NFL to start back up again.
Watching them play was actually pretty good, for it to be that AAF, they played really good defense, and that's something that I love because that's what I was on defense when I played football. I was very impressed of the level of talent that they had for the San Antonio Commanders.
But I think the attendance, about 28,000 people from San Antonio showed up, which was I read in the newspaper was the best attendance of any of the 4 opening games. The next best was 20,000. And ultimately, I hope that the San Antonio Commanders are such a strong team that it's the beginning of our NFL team here in San Antonio.
But it's going to take us, the fans, to support this football team. So I'm going to ask the fans that may be watching this to support these people, because I think we can succeed, and maybe one day we'll get an NFL team.
Reporting here from the Alamo Dome, San Antonio, Texas, I'm Jericho Montefalcon, your EBC correspondent, and I am 1 with 25.
Thanks, Jericho. From football, let's sprint over to these very endearing but super competitive friends of ours. In New York, the nation's best canines vie for titles with the top awards for Best in Breed, Best in Show at the 143rd Westminster Kennel Club Show. Eagle News correspondent Tenny Sumage reports.
What's up, dogs? We're back here at the 143rd Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show, where the cutest canines will strut their athletic abilities, all for Best in Show.
The cheering and boos of the crowd, complete with drama, were just like any other sporting event held at Madison Square Garden. However, this event is the Super Bowl of dog shows, bringing the best of breed to New York City for 4 days of competition. Dogs of all kinds were getting washed, primped, and prepared to look their best to compete for one of 7 categories, the winners of which would compete for the title of Best in Show.
He's a Bouvier de Flanders, and his registration name is Keisha's Major League, and he won Group 1 at the Westminster Dog Show. He has beautiful breed type, what the Bouvier should be, and that's why he represents the breed so well, because every breed has a breed standard, and he fits the standard very closely.
Oh my God, considering that he's retiring tomorrow, and this is his last chance for something like this, and he came through, that's just unbelievable. I would have been happy with any placement in that group ring, as strong as it is, and for his retirement, I would have been happy with a 4th. Didn't expect this, so it's like pretty amazing.
And he was definitely a crowd favorite today.
He was last year. He has his aura, and he walks in there like he owns it, even though his legs are this short, and he thinks he's 6 foot tall, and the crowd feeds off of that, and he feeds off the crowd. He has a dent title, which is hunting underground, which is what terriers do, and dachshunds are qualified to compete in that. So he's got a dent title, and he also has a field title, which is hunting rabbits above land, which is what hounds do. So he's double titled in hunting, and then all of this, which has never happened before. He really has broken a lot of records for the breed.
To everyone's surprise, shortly before the winner was to be announced, the non-sporting group was declared ineligible for Best in Show, leaving only 6 group winners to compete for the title.
So we never had the expectation of winning because the Schipperke has never won the group at Westminster before. And so we just came here to compete on the breed level, and we had a very, very spectacular win and went on to win the group. But one of our owners has a distant working relationship with the Best in Show judge, Mr. Peter Green, and to avoid any appearance of impropriety, we're not going to participate in the Best in Show.
The 2019 Reserve Best in Show was awarded to Bono, a Havanese from the toy group.
They make you laugh, they're endearing, they get along with kids, cats, dogs. They're just, they love to sit in your lap, they love to retrieve things. It's a great little breed. Some of them get trained and some are just naturals. Bono was a natural. From the minute I saw him, I knew he was going to be a show dog. He's very full of himself. He thinks very highly of himself, and then he portrays that in the ring.
This year's winner went to King, the Wire Fox Terrier. This breed has won the coveted title 15 times, more than any other breed.
Thank you, my love. Way to go, King. Thank you.
Signing off here at the world's famous arena, I'm Tenny Sumagi, 1 with 25.
Thank you, Tenny. The Westminster Kennel Club is the country's oldest organization dedicated to the sport of purebred dogs. When we come back, in California, world figure skaters share their insights in the sport at the ISU Four Continents Championship in Anaheim. Eagle News, Washington, D.C. will return shortly. This is Eagle News, Washington, D.C., Weekend Edition. I am Lynn Pence. What does it take for one to master the sport of figure skating and have fun at the same time? At the recently held ISU Four Continents Championship in Anaheim, California, Eagle News correspondents Alan and Ava Basalahe get some tips from some of this year's finalists. Take a look.
The ISU Four Continents Figure Skating Championships return to the United States.
Landing like a well-executed triple axel jump at the Honda Center in Anaheim, California. What is this ISU Four Continents Championship?
It's one of the biggest figure skating competitions of the season. It's one of a handful of ISU championship events, which means that these athletes are only a few from every country. They get to go represent their country at an international competition that has a lot of prestige. Started in 1999. This is the 5th time it's been hosted in the United States. Rotates between Asia, Canada, the United States, and Australia. And it's really a cool event. It's basically it's all the athletes except those that compete in Europe, and there's a separate European championships for them. This event is about 3 weeks before the World Championships, so it's a good barometer of where you're at on that international stage. And then, of course, from here, all these skaters will switch their focus to go to Tokyo in March for the World Championships, and where everyone hopes to perform really well.
What an exact margin is required for figure skating?
Yeah, the whole sport is details. We're skating on a tiny blade. Our revolutions are counted to the absolute end detail. Our jumps are reviewed to make sure they're fully backwards so that we get full credit, and if not, for each percentage of the circle that you under-rotate, you get a certain point deducted. And again, we're skating on, really thin knives, essentially. You can be as trained as possible and anything can still happen. Obviously, you have an idea if you feel really good going into a competition, but it's ice and it's slippery and things happen. So that's another thing about our sport that makes it really interesting and cool is that, it can be anybody's time at any moment.
How instrumental has your family, friends been for you in your career?
They've been like my rock. They've done so much for me and sacrificed so much just to make sure I can skate and I can have the opportunity to reach my goal and to go to the Olympics. So I'm just so thankful and so grateful for them and everything they do, along with all my friends back home who are supporting me and cheering me on every competition.
All of the fans that make what we do so special, because if we were just skating in front of a panel of judges, it wouldn't be as exciting, and we really feel their support and they help us get through the tougher times and celebrate with us when we have the great times.
The final standings for the ladies' competition saw Rika Kihira of Japan grab gold. Kazakhstan's Elizabeth Tursunbayeva secure silver. And jumping all the way from 8th place, Mai Mihara of Japan winning the bronze.
ショートが終わってからショートはあまりいい演技ではなかったのでミスは許されないなっていうふうにも感じていてすごい今日は集中力がいつもより集中できてたのでそこがすごく良かったなって思ってます。
So I know I did not do well on show, so I thought I should have a no miss for free, and I had to really concentrate on the free.
Alan Basoyahe, Eagle News International, Eagle News Sports. Question for Elizabeth. What do you feel you executed the best tonight in your performance? And also, are you now famous enough to hang out with Dimash Kudaibergen?
I met him once to take a picture with him, but that's it. I hope I will meet him again sometime because he's my favorite singer. from Kazakhstan. So I think he's like the most talented singer I know. Yep. That was the question?
That was the second one.
Yeah.
The first one was, what do you feel you executed? What do you feel you executed best tonight?
I think even if I fell on the first jump, I'm glad that I was able to do the rest of my programs and the rest of my jumps. I think that's the good thing. Today's free was good so for me. I so appreciate the audience and my coaches and my family. That rank is so surprising for me. I will do my best next competition.
With the Winter Olympics a short 3 years away, could a podium run in Beijing be in the future for some of these figure skaters?
Time will tell, and the world will be watching. Reporting from Anaheim, California for Eagle News, this is Eva and Alan, and we are 1 with 25.
Thanks, Ava and Alan. That is today's Eagle News Washington, D.C. Weekend Edition. Join us again next week for stories from our bureaus across the nation and around the globe. Visit our website at Eaglenews.PH and EagleNewsLive.com. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at Twitter.com/EagleNewsPH. Thank you for watching. I am Lynn Pence, and I am 1 with 25.